Scientists found a plane buried in Arctic ice. What they discovered inside shocked them to the core. We were told to stop the moment we spotted the wreck. Routine crash. They said nothing to see, nothing worth digging into. But the data didn't lie. Something about the readings didn't match any flight logs from that region. I couldn't just let it go. So we stayed, drilling deeper into the ice, ignoring orders and trusting our instincts. When we finally reached the fuselage and forced the hatch open, the cold didn't hit me first, the silence did. It was thick, heavy, unnatural. And what we saw inside, I still don't have the words for it. I wish I'd listened to the warnings because what was inside that plane still keeps me up at night. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The Arctic chill bit into my skin as we ventured closer. There it was, an old plane, half buried deep in ice and snow. Its presence was eerie-like, something out of a movie. Sophia glanced nervously at it, her instincts telling her to back away. "Brian, isn't this incredible?" Marcus marveled, unable to look away. "We should probably call this in, right?" Sophia suggested, her breath fogging in the freezing air. But an inexplicable urge told me otherwise. "Let's wait a bit. Just till we can figure out what we've got here," I replied, trying to convince her and maybe myself that holding off was smart. Marcus nodded in agreement, scribbling notes excitedly. Sophia hesitated, then sighed, knowing she was outnumbered. Marcus couldn't keep still. Armed with a shovel, he began digging away snow like a kid uncovering treasure. Elena, ever the voice of caution, kept urging us to reconsider. "Guys, we might be opening Pandora's box here. I mean, what if we're missing something?" Her words hung heavy, but curiosity outweighed caution. Marcus glanced over, rolling his eyes playfully. "Elena, come on, we're just exploring. Isn't that the point?" he chimed. I chuckled, but Elena's expression didn't waver. The air seemed colder as her concerns settled into the growing tension among us. Finally, as snow swirled around us like a scene straight out of a thriller, we managed to pry the plane's door open. "Okay, here we go," I said, more to myself than to anyone else. Fumbling for a flashlight, we hesitated before stepping inside. What met our gaze were rows of empty, frost-covered seats. Sophia walked beside me, snapping photos, capturing each haunting angle. Elena's curiosity finally brought her to the cockpit area, a spot that seemed to draw her in despite her usual hesitance. "Looks like the controls are still intact mostly," she observed, brushing snowflakes off the dials. Her usual demeanor was replaced by focused fascination. Marcus joined her, shining light onto buttons and levers that hadn't been touched in decades. Among the tattered remains, we found obituaries, names, and faces frozen in a sorrowful past. "These people, they had families, dreams," Sophia whispered, her voice carrying a weight of empathy. Just as we were delving deeper into our exploration, the radio buzzed to life, making us all jump. It was the authorities, demanding updates on our supposed routine findings. Brian exchanged a knowing glance with Marcus. "Let's keep this to ourselves for now," I suggested, nodding subtly. We all agreed, knowing full well that sharing our discovery too soon could lead to unwanted interference. Our silent pact fueled our determination to uncover the truth hidden within the plane. With each step further into the plane's belly, the atmosphere seemed to thicken. As we ventured further, Marcus paused, leaning closer to the plane's cold frame. "Hey, check this out," he called, pointing to some unusual symbols etched into the metal. "Looks like a language. Any ideas?" he asked, scratching his head. We gathered around, peering at the faded carvings. Whatever they meant, these symbols hinted at a mystery far older than the plane itself. "We'll find out soon," Sophia said, determined. The lock was as stubborn as the ice, but it was clear we were onto something significant. Despite the thrill of discovery, the atmosphere inside the plane was growing denser, more suffocating. "Maybe we should take a break," Elena suggested, sensing the strain on us all. Sophia nodded, stretching her arms. "I could use a minute to catch my breath," she admitted. We all stepped back from our tasks, grateful for a moment of respite. As we gathered our thoughts, the weight of the icebound secret seemed to hover just out of reach, tantalizingly close. The storm added another layer of mystery, wrapping our discovery in its icy embrace, as if protecting its secrets. We decided to set up a makeshift camp near the protective bulk of the plane, away from the storm's unyielding grasp. Yanking down our gear, we worked efficiently to establish a small sanctuary in the midst of the Arctic wilderness. Not exactly 5-star, but it'll do, Elena joked, trying to lighten the mood. The storm howled all around us, but within our little shelter, a small sense of camaraderie began to grow, warding off the chill. With our camp in place, Sophia attempted to contact our base, hoping for any words of wisdom. "Anything?" I asked as static crackled through the receiver. Sophia shook her head, the frustration evident. "Nothing clear. Storm's mucking with the signal," she sighed. We huddled close around her, feeling the isolation more keenly with the failed communication. Yet, our resolve hardened we would figure this puzzle out together, even if reaching the outside world proved difficult. As night fell, Marcus began sharing tales of legendary pilots who faced odds and obstacles, their stories echoing the challenges we faced. "You know, one pilot once landed a plane with no engines," he recounted, his narrative bringing a warmth to our frigid surroundings. Laughter broke the tension, and for a moment, we allowed ourselves to forget the encroaching ice outside. Each story reminded us of human resilience, fueling our own bravery in this Arctic adventure. While the storm raged on, Elena busied herself brewing hot coffee, the rich aroma cutting through the cold and offering a slice of normalcy. "Here, a little warmth goes a long way," she smiled, handing each of us a steaming mug. The simple gesture reminded us that amidst the cold, the camaraderie and connection we shared were our greatest sources of warmth. With renewed spirit, we returned to our investigation, eager to uncover what lay hidden in the frozen fuselage. The night crept in like a shadow, amplifying the stillness around us, and the plane's looming presence made it downright eerie. With the darkness settling in, the Arctic seemed even more unforgiving. The vast expanse of ice felt endless. Marcus set up the lantern at our makeshift camp. "Feels like that plane's gonna keep us company all night," he joked. But the nervous laughter that followed betrayed our unease in this frozen wilderness. We woke up to fresh tracks, zigzagging around our campsite, the kind that made you question your sanity for staying out here. "Anybody recognize these?" I asked, knowing the answer. Sophia frowned, shaking her head. "Not a clue." "Not human, I think." Marcus examined them closely, his expression worried. "Whatever they are, they weren't here just to chat," he noted. The mystery deepened, and now we had more than just the plane to investigate. Sophia was adamant. "We need to go back in, dig deeper," she urged, her eyes alight with determination. "There's more in there. I can feel it." Her resolve sparked something in all of us. Marcus nodded, his earlier apprehension melting away. "Let's get going," he agreed, stepping towards the plane. Elena, though cautious, followed suit. Despite the morning's eerie start, curiosity pulled us forward, promising answers hidden within the frozen relic. Marcus's excitement was contagious when he found strange engravings etched into the fuselage's metal. "These markings aren't random," he exclaimed, running his fingers over them gently. We gathered around, inspecting the odd symbols that seemed so out of place. "You think they mean something?" Sophia asked, curiosity piqued. "I'm sure of it," Marcus replied, believing these engravings were a vital clue. The mystery felt closer now, as if whispering secrets locked in the ice. Elena couldn't shake the feeling we weren't alone. "Guys, I swear, it's like we're being watched," she whispered, glancing over her shoulder. Her gut feeling was palpable, tension thick in the cold air. Marcus tried to reassure her. "It's just nerves," he suggested, but even his voice lacked confidence. "Stay alert," I advised, eyes scanning the white expanse. Elena's intuition was rarely wrong, and the weight of unseen eyes added to our unease. Despite the unease, curiosity was a powerful motivator. "We've come this far. We can't turn back now," I insisted, determination rising. Sophia and Marcus nodded, eager to press on. The plane, with all its secrets, demanded our attention. Elena sighed, but followed, the weight of our unresolved questions spurring us forward. Each step brought us deeper into the unknown, and there was no turning back. The mysteries whispered promises of answers just out of reach. Reaching the cockpit felt like a pilgrimage. Shattered control panels and frozen dials stood like relics from another era. Marcus inspected the controls, Strange how everything's preserved. His curiosity deepened. Sophia photographed everything, turning chaos into a record. Marcus studied the damage closely. "This isn't a typical crash," he said. Elena leaned in. "Maybe sabotage?" Marcus considered the idea, his theories growing with each observation. Sophia discovered an envelope tucked away in an undisturbed compartment. Time hadn't damaged it. "Looks important," she said. Marcus examined its seal. It bore a unique, mark unfamiliar, yet deliberate. He slipped it into his bag with care. Its significance was obvious. We moved with purpose, collecting fragments of the plane's story with growing intensity. Despite the fatigue and shadows, I felt certain we hadn't reached the heart of the mystery. "We need to keep going," I said. Sophia and Marcus nodded, weary but driven. I unearthed a navigator's logbook, frozen in time. "Guys, you'll want to see this," I said. Its pages, filled with delicate scribbles and coordinates, hinted at secrets long buried. Sophia traced the marks. "Look at all these entries." Marcus studied them. "They might lead somewhere." We crowded around, deciphering each word. The mystery had shifted. It wasn't just about what had happened, but why. Everything pointed to something deeper, and we wouldn't stop until we uncovered the truth. Despite how much we'd uncovered, a sense of incompleteness hung in the air. "Something's still missing," I admitted. Sophia raised the idea of reporting our discovery discreetly. Marcus agreed, knowing too much attention could derail everything. As we resumed our search, there was a realization that the clock was ticking. The day's discoveries sat heavy in our minds. The arrival of dawn brought no comfort. The plane loomed as hauntingly in daylight as it had in darkness. Marcus, ever alert, noticed an out-of-place panel beneath a tangle of wires. With careful effort, he uncovered a concealed compartment, the atmosphere around us thick with anticipation. Elena gathered us quickly. "We're close," she said, urging focus. Marcus came prepared. Holding up a crowbar, he explained how he'd open the panel. As Marcus pried open the panel, we all leaned in. With a soft groan, it released. Inside was something beyond imagination. A strange device, shimmered inside sleek, unfamiliar, and unlike anything we'd ever seen. "What is that?" I whispered. We stood transfixed, the implications unraveling in our minds. This was a moment that could alter the course of history. Marcus began pacing, ideas forming rapidly. "If this works, it could change everything," he said. The thought of its potential in the wrong hands was chilling. We all felt it, that weighty awareness of responsibility. This wasn't just a find, it was a fork in the road, and we stood at the edge. Without needing to discuss it, we reached a quiet consensus. We resealed the compartment, the decision heavy but necessary. "We'll tell them when we're ready," I said firmly. This secret wasn't lost anymore, but it wasn't ready for the world just yet. What we had discovered would stay with us, carefully guarded, until the time was right.